Hello, dear students. So now we have moved to the last chapter of Spoken English Certificate course. Here we are going to study two very important topics of English grammar, one word substitution and special and complex sentences. Let us first start this session with one word substitution. One word substitutes. As the phrase indicates itself, are the words that replace group of words or a full sentence effectively without creating any kind of ambiguity in the meaning of the sentences. Let's take the word autobiography. In this word, when I say autobiography, it can be used in place of the sentence, the life story of a man written by himself. It is very important to write precisely and speak in a single word. Generally, we speak or write in a garrulous way, but it is seen that precise words are always understood easily by all. At times, we become verbose, which is not required, and we are required to talk or speak precisely. This is not only making the language easily comprehensible, but also makes it beautiful. If I want to say it another way, I can say that these words are used to bring an effect of compression in any kind of writing. For example, in business communication, there are instances where we have to write a lot and the time is limited, the space is limited. There, these kinds of words can prove quite handy. In English language, there are a lots of single words for a group of words that can be used effectively to make the writing to the point, that too without losing the meaning of the context. We'll give you a few examples. Suppose if I tell you, who is anonymous? Or in place of anonymous, if I have to write a sentence, I would write a book written by an unknown author. So here, rather than writing the sentence, I have written or used the word anonymous. Now, anonymous here is nothing but a one word substitute. A cinema show which is held in the afternoon. Suppose if I have to replace this or substitute this with a word, I would use the word matinee, which is a one word substitute for the sentence a cinema show which is held in the afternoon. A contagious disease which spreads over a huge area. For this sentence, if I have to use a one word substitute, it is epidemic. So all these examples that I have given you are nothing but one word substitutes in English language, which help you to save your time as well as do not take much space while writing. Let's move to the slide. One word substitution are one of the integral parts of vocabulary. So as I told you, it simply means that a sentence has to be replaced with a single word. A process in which people use one word to replace a wordy phrase so as the sentence structure becomes more clear and easy and understanding. So here are few examples that I have given you. The custom of having more than one husband at a time. So rather than using this entire phrase or a sentence, what I do is I use the word pollinary. So that substitutes the entire sentence, helps me to save my time as well as saves the space while writing. One thing is very important when we use the one word substitutes, and that is whenever we use one word substitute instead of the sentence that we are going to write down, we need to take into account that the meaning of the sentences does not change. So the meaning of the sentence has to remain the same whenever we use one word substitutes. Now these are few of the most viewed sentences. I'm sure many of you must have read these words. Okay, a person who speaks less, we call that person to be reticent. Okay, one who is unable to pay his debts, we call him insolvent. A speech which is delivered without any previous preparation is what we call as extempore. A handwriting that cannot be read, we call it as illegible. One who looks on the brighter side of things, we call that person to be an optimist person. A list of books is what we call as catalog. One who looks on the dark side of things is what we call as pessimist. Anything which is fit to be eaten is what we call as edible. So these are few of those one word substitutes which are used in the English language. So for lesson 30, this was the first part, that is one word substitution. Let's now move to the next category. As I told you, the special and complex sentences. I'm sure you must have studied the different kinds of sentences: declarative, interrogative, special sentences, compound sentences, and all that. Now, special sentences are those sentences in English grammar which we use very commonly. You know, जब हम एक दूसरे से बात करते हैं तो ये sentences को we use commonly. These are very commonly used, and they are grammatically and idiomatically also correct. Okay, so for here I'll give you an example. We'll start with the example. If you can see, the more, the less. Okay, so the more I try to drink water, the more I feel in the best of my health. Now, अगर आप, if you try to read this sentence or if you try to speak, इसमें ये sentences को हम generally हम use करते हैं, right? और हमारे मन में doubt भी आएगा कि are these sentences grammatically correct? So yes, this sentence is a two-part sentence. Okay, so generally what happens that two-part sentences अगर हैं तो they should be connected with an appropriate say conjunction, or you need to have a semicolon or you need to have a colon. But these are one category of those special sentences which do not require any colon, semicolon, or a conjunction. So such kind of sentences are what you call as the special sentences in English grammar. So there are few examples which I have stated here. The less we talk about your friend, the better it is for all of us. Right? The farther your house from downtown, the less the rent you have to pay for it. The faster the population decreases, I'm sorry, the slower is the country's economic growth. Let's move to the second category of special sentences, proper noun in plural number. Now when you see here, a proper noun usually denotes what? Okay, you have studied common noun, proper nouns. So what does a proper noun denote? A proper noun denotes a unique person. It could be a person, and it must be singular in number. But there is one type of sentence in which a proper noun can also be used in plural forms. Right? So if I say, I have given you an example here. Generally हम proper nouns को s लगाते नहीं है, right? We do not मतलब हम उसको plural form में नहीं बोलते. I would not say Sarods, right? Or I would not say Wikis, right? So agar if I have to tell that, as we had studied in one of the topics called possessives, so वहाँ पे we use an apostrophe s. But here what you can see is, in these examples which I have mentioned, I do not use apostrophe s. If you can see those sentences, I haven't used apostrophe, I haven't used apostrophe s at all, right? So such kind of sentences are special sentences. We talk about Tatas, Birlas, Ambanis, right? So when we use these kind of proper nouns, we do not have any apostrophe mark or an apostrophe s attached to it. So such sentences are categorized as special sentences in English grammar. Move to the next, noun in apposition to the subject. Okay, now whenever we use say two names, right? So a noun, when you have to connect it to another noun, what are we going to do generally is we join it with a conjunction or we join it with a preposition. So if I say Jack and Jill went up to the hill, so I say Jack and Jill. So when I'm using two nouns here, two proper nouns, I'm trying to join Jack and Jill with an conjunction and. Correct. But in these special kind of sentences, noun in apposition to the subject. So when we talk about a conventional grammar, we generally try to connect a noun to other noun through a preposition or a conjunction. But in this special category of sentences, there is no such intermediate words which are necessary. So what we do is, there are some examples I've given here. A born mathematical genius, Ramanujam got his ERS at the age of 28. Right? So what I've tried to do here is, I have not used any conjunction or preposition. I have just tried to use a comma and I have tried to join these two sentences. A true Gandhian, comma, Bhave lived a Spartan life and traveled only on foot. Right? So whenever we talk of such sentences also, we need to pause for 1 second and then continue. So I would never read a true Gandhian Bhave believed no, I would wait. A true Gandhian Bhave lived a Spartan life and traveled only on foot. So a comma or a semicolon need to be seen, and accordingly while speaking you need to pause and then continue talking. I'm sure this must have been covered in punctuations. The next is the subjunctive sentences starting with should and where, right? So we very rarely we see such kind of sentences, but yes, these are a part of English grammar. So let's take an example. Were the sun to rise in the west, I would have its rays strike my bed in the morning. Right? So should the ozone layer be depleted at the same rate as at present, the sea level would rise by a foot. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm starting the sentences using the words should, where. So what I'm trying to do, I'm not asking a question, right? So when I ask a question, it is, you'll definitely try to put a question mark at the end. But what I'm trying to do here is, I'm trying to use should and where with a condition, right? So if, what does the sentence actually mean? If the sun were to rise in the west, I would have its rays strike my bed in the morning. So this is a kind of a special sentence. Next, let's all of us move to the last topic, that is complex sentences. So as the name suggests, what are complex sentences? A complex sentence has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. Now, before we move to a complex sentence, let us first understand what is an independent clause and what is a dependent clause. There's one very simple example that I've mentioned on the slide. When the cake is brown, take it out the oven. Okay? Independent का simple मतलब क्या होता है? जो अपने आप में रह सकता है, राइट? और डिपेंडेंट कौन होता है? जिसको कोई ना कोई चाहिए देखने के लिए। सिमिलरली आर सेंटेंसेस। कुछ सेंटेंस होते हैं जो अपने आप में इंडिपेंडेंट होते हैं, आप उनको पढ़ेंगे तो आपको मीनिंग समझ में आ जाता है, आपको उसके आगे पीछे किसी सेंटेंस या फ्रेज को ऐड करने की जरूरत नहीं होती। Similarly are independent clauses or independent sentences. Now, when you see these two sentences, take it out the oven. It could be a command, right? Or it could be an order, right? Or it could be a request. तो वो sentence से आपको समझ रहा है, take it out the oven. So there's something which you need to take it out from the oven. So this is an independent sentence, right? उसको side में कर दो. Forget that. When the cake is brown, if you read this sentence, तो आपके मन में क्वेश्चन आएगा, सो व्हाट नेक्स्ट? तो क्या करना, क्या है? you'll have, तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है, वो सेंटेंस अपने आप में कंप्लीट नहीं है। उस सेंटेंस को कंप्लीट करने के लिए यू रिक्वायर टू हैव एन इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. So a complex sentence is such kind of sentence which has an independent and at least one dependent clause. So when I combine these two sentences with a comma, when the cake is brown, take it out the oven, such sentences are known as complex sentences. So that's what I just told you. An independent clause has the ability to stand alone as a sentence. It always makes a complete thought. A dependent clause cannot stand alone even though it has a subject and a verb. Okay, so there's one more example which I have just mentioned. Let's start with an independent clause like Simi sipped on a coffee. This sentence is complete on itself, right? In itself, you are able to understand कि Simi sipped on a coffee. अगर इसको डिपेंडेंट क्लॉज में आपने जैसे हमने किया, तो while Simi sipped on a coffee, तो आपको लग रहा है ना कि क्या हुआ था आगे, कि कॉफी गिर गई या कॉफी उसको बहुत अच्छी लगी, right? So that sentence is not felt complete until and unless you add an independent clause to it. So कोई भी सेंटेंस को कंप्लीट करने के लिए जब आपको इंडिपेंडेंट और कम से कम एक डिपेंडेंट क्लॉज लगता है, such sentences are known as complex sentence. So when an independent and a dependent clause join together to form a complex sentence, they can go in either order. So any of the ways it can be. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए या बाद में डिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए या वाइस वर्सा. It's not that. Either ways it could be. So I was angry with him because I was running late for work. So if you see here, dependent clause यहाँ पे पहले आया है. I was angry with him. Okay, I was running late for work. I was angry with him. Correct? उसके बाद because I was angry with because I was running late for work, I was angry with him. Right? तो यहाँ पे again you have the dependent clause which has come first. So in the first sentence, I was angry with him because I was running late for work. Independent clause is first. Because I was running late for work, I was angry with him. The dependent clause come first. राइट? तो इंडिपेंडेंट और डिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस को अगर हमें कनेक्ट करना है तो हमें सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस व्हिच वी हैड स्टडीड इन द कंजंक्शन चैप्टर, सबऑर्डिनेटर्स आर यूज्ड लाइक आफ्टर, व्हाइल, सिंस, बिकॉज. तो these kind of words are used जिसके थ्रू you can join the independent and dependent clauses. Again, if the dependent clause comes first, we generally need to separate the clauses with a comma. So the second example that you can see, usko you have tried to put a comma and you have tried to separate. The next is a few of the examples. So wherever you go, you can always find beauty. So again, when you see here, you will be able to understand key dependent clause here is first. Right? Evergreen trees are a symbol of fertility. Independent clause because they do not die in water. Dependent clause. Right? So as she was bright and ambitious, she became a manager in no time. Right? So the actor was happy he got a part in a movie, even though the part was small. So these are few of the examples of complex sentences which are used in English grammar. So we have come to an end of the spoken English certificate course programs chapter number 30. I'm very sure all these chapters must have been enriching, must have helped you to enhance your knowledge, must have helped you to learn more of grammatical skills, few vocabulary or few pronunciation, punctuation mistakes that we used to make while writing, while talking. I'm sure the spoken English sessions, the PPTs, the assignments, and the further test will definitely help you to improve on your English, spoken English areas. So that's the end of the session. I thank you everyone for patiently listening to all this, and I hope this all creates more of value addition to all of you. And there are assignments and tests which have been given. I request all of you to go through the assignments, solve it, appear for the test, so that accordingly we can give you your scores and later on you can get your e-certificates. So thank you very much, students. Have a nice day. Stay sound, stay safe.